Okay, I'd like to call the special council meeting for Tuesday, June the 10th to order. It's 8 a.m. We are going to adopt the agenda. However, we do have one modification to the agenda, adding in item 4.2, which would be a discussion around, I guess, speed limits within subdivisions, which will, if we get consensus on that, we can add it to the agenda. Do I have anybody to move that motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Bannister, seconded by Councillor Thorne. Questions to the motion? See no questions to the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. Just everybody help me along here because I can't get everybody on the screen. So if I miss something, please let me know. With that, we'll move on to item number 3, conflict of interest declarations. If you have any, obviously we'll get the form filled out and passed into the clerk's office. Please let them know if there is a conflict. With that, we'll move on to item number 4, bylaws. Item number 1, third reading of the municipal plan and zoning bylaw consolidation.
So I'll just put a little background. At the council meeting of May the 12th, regular council meeting, council gave first and second readings of bylaw number 16, the municipal plan, and bylaw number 17, the zoning bylaw. This followed the April 30th public hearing into council's intention to adopt a consolidated version of the existing planning documents for the former village and the former local service district, being the municipal plan and the zoning bylaw for the village of Salisbury and the Westmoreland Albert Planning Area Rural Plan Regulations, or the WARP, for the local service districts. As previously explained by Lori Bickford of Plan 360, a municipal plan reflects the community's land use vision, while the zoning bylaw is the day-to-day tool used by planners. In this case, the documents for both of the former village and the former LSDs were updated 4 years ago and share similar objectives, making this consolidated process an ideal step in advance of the future developing and fully updated municipal plan and zoning bylaw for the town of Salisbury. Previous to that public hearing on April 30th, Lori Bickford had made the required public presentation at Salisbury Council's March 24th council meeting, or committee of the whole meeting, which opened the time period for written feedback from the public. No written comments were received in the 30 days that followed, although there was one verbal inquiry made that was answered by Plan 360. No one had from the public attended that public hearing that was held at the Salisbury Lions Club. Since then, there has been one more inquiry made to council on secondary suites, which is not part of this current bylaw. If council so chooses, the requirements have all been met, we can have third reading of the bylaws number 16 at this time.
Do I have a councillor read the motion, please?
I'll move that the council of the town of Salisbury give third reading to the bylaw titled bylaw number 16, town of Salisbury municipal plan by title only.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Oblinas, seconded by Councillor Gallant. Questions to the motion?
I will point out it won't be titled, it will be in full.
Okay. Seeing no questions, all in favor? Aye.
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 Contrary minded? Motion carried. Have fun here,
So
Diane.
bylaw to adopt the municipal plan, bylaw number 16. Under the authority vested in by section 24 of the Community Planning Act, the Municipal Council of the Town of Salisbury enacts as follows. Number 1, this bylaw may be cited as the Town of Salisbury Municipal Plan. Number 2, the document entitled Town of Salisbury Municipal Plan, bylaw number 16, along with Schedule A, the future land use map, and Schedule B, the boundary and servicing map, and Schedule C, 5-year capital budget attached hereto, is enacted. Bylaw number 50, entitled Village of Salisbury Municipal Plan, enacted on the 14th day of December 2020, is repealed together with all amendments. That being the third reading, council, once it's signed and stamped, it will be sent to the minister for approval. Then once the minister has approved, and then gets sent to be registered. And at that time, once it's registered, it will be considered in effect.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item 4.2, speed reduction.
We have one more. We have one more land use one before. There's two separate bylaws.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
I'll do the next one. I'll move that council of the town of Salisbury give third reading to the bylaw titled bylaw number 17, town of Salisbury zoning bylaw by title only?
No. In full.
In full. So moved.
Second it.
So moved by Councillor Thorne, seconded by Councillor Bannister. Questions to the motion? Seeing no questions to the motion, all in favor? Aye.
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 Contrary
Okay, so
minded? Oops. Motion
Trying to-
carried.
trying to speed it up apparently. So bylaw number 17, a bylaw to adopt a zoning bylaw. Under the authority vested in section 53 of the Community Planning Act, the Municipal Council of the Town of Salisbury enacts as follows. Number 1, this bylaw may be cited as the Town of Salisbury zoning bylaw. Number 2, the document entitled Town of Salisbury zoning bylaw, bylaw number 17, along with Schedule A, the zoning map, and Schedule B, the hydrographic map attached hereto is enacted. Bylaw number 51, entitled Town of Salisbury zoning bylaw, enacted on the 14th day of December 2020, is repealed together with all amendments and development agreements except for the following amendments. Bylaw 31-2, rezoning terms and conditions set by resolution. Bylaw 31-11, integrated development by development agreement. Bylaw number 31-14, rezoning with development agreement. Bylaw number 43-6, rezoning with development agreement. Bylaw 43-10, integrated development by development agreement. Bylaw 43-12, rezoning and development agreement. Bylaw 51-4, rezoning with conditions, and a bylaw 51-5, rezoning with conditions. The area of land shown on the map forming Schedule A of the Ministerial Regulations 21-WAP-069-00, enacted on September 6, 2022, now forming part of this town of Salisbury, is hereby repealed. And again, this will be, once it's signed, it will be sent to the minister for approval. And then when it returns, goes back to the province to be registered and comes into effect after being registered.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item 4.2, speed reduction. Austin?
Okay, so as council knows, the province through DTI is currently replacing a culvert WM32 between Parkin Street and Larson Lane, which, while not the official detour, has caused an increase in traffic on local roads under our jurisdiction, being those two roads in that subdivision. Council and the office both have received inquiries from residents with respect to lowering speed limits. As council knows, we've placed temporary speed bumps and have also installed speed radar signs, which most importantly track a number of different data points, which are extremely helpful in providing us some context to present to council. We have given an overview of options to council should they want to choose, or should they choose to reduce the temporary speeds exclusively on these local streets. So this does not apply to Route 106 that approaches these two local streets. It only applies to the two local streets that are under our jurisdiction. So there are motions or recommendations that council can make, but before doing that, I do want to give, for the record, a quick overview as to some of the data that we've been seeing. So within a week span, so as of last night, on Parkin Street, there were just over 6,200 cars that had passed. On Larson Lane, just over 6,100. On Parkin Street specifically, almost 100%, so 99.6% of vehicles have respected the speed limit. On Larson Lane, it's 100%, which is the current speed limit being 50 kilometers an hour. On Parkin Street, when you look at the 30 kilometers or under, which would be the recommended speed limit, should it be lowered at the discretion of council, the percentage of vehicles goes up to 62% on Parkin Street and 79% on Larson Lane. The majority of motorists are traveling between 35 and under, so anywhere between 10, 15-ish to 35 kilometers. And when you open that range to 35 and under, it's 70% of vehicles on Parkin Street and 95% on Larson Lane. We have the option in front of council, which is done by way of modifying a schedule of a bylaw. So there's two motions that would be required, one which modifies the schedule and then one which is the resolution to lower the speed limit. We do want to flag, we do not think this will in any way, shape, or form limit traffic in the subdivision. We can be upfront on that. It's given the fact that most motorists are traveling within that reasonable speed currently, it may not have a noticeable impact, and we do not expect all concerns to all of a sudden dissipate, but it does indicate the town continues to do what we can within our jurisdiction to mitigate any challenges that we're seeing in the subdivision in light of the provincial project. And by the same token, I will state again, as the public notices would state, should council proceed with the change, that like we are doing this for safety concerns, the town will also continue to enforce the town's bylaw, which does prohibit the parking of streets to intentionally block traffic, which we are seeing regularly through the subdivision, which causes an equal, if not more, concerning safety risk for both motorists and those living in the subdivision. So the public notice will speak to that as well. So with that, there are two motions that would be on the floor should council choose to proceed, and then we can answer any questions that council may have with respect to the changes.
I move that council amend Schedule B of the Town of Salisbury bylaw number 15, a bylaw of the municipality of Salisbury related to traffic by adding section B-3 reading, streets that by resolution of council warrant temporary speed reductions due to special events, public safety considerations, and or other considerations at the discretion of council, authorizing council to reduce speed limits on a temporary basis on local streets pursuant to section 142 of the Motor Vehicle Act, and adding the following wording to the preamble of Schedule B: notwithstanding the speed limits below any temporary modifications pursuant to section B-3 of this schedule shall be denoted with appropriate signage.
Seconded.
So moved by Councillor Bannister. Was that Councillor Thorne?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Questions to the motion?
I have a quick question. The complaints that we received, have they been with respect to the traffic volume or the speed?
Generally, it's with respect to just the project in general. And then it generally starts with traffic. And then when we say, well, here are the traffic counts, then it becomes, well, it's about speed. And then when it's about speed and we give some of that data, then it becomes, well, there's commercial vehicles. So it continues to flow down. We're hearing it all through most concerns that we're hearing. But if I were to summarize the most painful point, I would say that it is speed.
So people have referred.
I had 3 complaints from residents in there, and it was all about traffic.
Yeah, people have referred to the 30 kilometers that we did previously, and again, whether it helped or not, it's more perception. It is a narrower road than most areas.
Yeah.
So I think it's just about perception on, is everything being done, and that's the main thing, is perception.
It solves nothing.
It's not going to solve anything. As someone who lives in this subdivision, I don't find any of it that big of an issue, because I'm a person who can like rationalize that this is temporary. But I don't find they're speeding through here. But I think that perception is what's going to help us most with this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's perception.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Through it a few times, and the way that we have it, that Public Works has set it up with the speed bumps, it really slows traffic down. It's hard to get.
Yeah.
It does.
You're not going to
It
get going
does.
quick in there.
It does.
They
Yeah, the
do
only
speed
ones
up
that
the
are-
hill by my house, cause
Yeah.
they like hit that last speed bump on Larson, and then they can speed up the hill if they want, but I still don't think it's that fast. But
A lot of the industrial trucks, because probably they don't own the vehicles, are going faster, or the delivery trucks. But again, it's slowing them down. But again, it's perception, and I think perception is.
Yeah.
Does no one want the bridge taken out and fixed permanently? Like, I don't understand what the issue is. Like,
people
it's,
don't handle
People-
change well.
people like to
Well,
whine,
well,
and that's
sorry,
just the
People
reality.
are
of it.
crazy. People are crazy.
well, but I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit around the road in that subdivision is narrower than most subdivisions.
It is.
And it is getting a lot more traffic than usual. I mean, hopefully once school dies down, but when you get school buses that are going through along with big transport trucks, and again, all it takes is one car to be on the side of the road. Again, in some cases, it's not being malicious being parked on the side of the road. It's just being parked on the side of the road because that's what people do. We had an instance where somebody was paving their driveway, and we had one side of the road, Austin, lined up from almost to our parking lot for the trail,
Mhm.
halfway down the road with construction vehicles, which again reduced the whole area to one lane. So you're going to get some of those instances. So again, it's perception. So I think anything we can do to overcome the perception and show that we're trying to create safety for the residents is a positive.
Do we have any idea what the volume of traffic was prior to the construction?
No, because we just installed these as part of this project. So
Yeah, it would have been good in the future to do that, but yeah.
Well, it'd be good to leave it like for a week after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A week after the construction's done to kind of get a baseline to understand what the increase of volume was. I'm mostly concerned about the condition of the roads. Like, you know, I know
Yeah,
it's a short temporary thing, but if you get big heavy traffic, like heavy machinery and stuff going through there, it is deteriorating roads that aren't built for it.
All you have to do is look at the end of individual driveways because people are driving around the speed bumps. And those areas where that's occurring, the ends of driveways are getting deteriorated as well. But we'll have to look at that. But yeah, data will be king for later. Okay, additional
this
questions?
is like just to stress a provincial project that's being
Yeah.
done in the vicinity that we're suffering the consequences of on local streets. I don't think that they could have been designed any better in terms of being a perfect workaround from
Yeah.
the adjacent provincial project. So
No,
just
we're
to
doing-
stress
we're-
that there are
yeah, we're
limited
doing-
things that we can do here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're doing a great job. I think kudos to everybody involved. It's again to Councillor Dykstra's point, we're getting the bridge fixed, which is the huge positive. So
Yeah.
with that, any additional
The
questions?
province is fixing the bridge. The province is fixing the
Yeah,
bridge.
I know, but we're taking the pain for it. But we can't complain at the end of the day for getting something we all want.
Yeah, I think this bylaw or this amendment is good. It gives us the power to adjust as necessary throughout the town. So.
Yeah, it gives us a good ability in the future to do this. So, if no additional questions, all in favor? Aye.
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 Contrary minded? Sorry, what was that, Councillor Colwell?
I just said aye.
Okay, thank you. Any negative or no's? Seeing none, motion carried. Do we have a second motion?
Oh yeah, I'll read that one. I'll move that pursuant to Schedule B3 of the Town of Salisbury bylaw number 15, a bylaw of the municipality of Salisbury relating to traffic, local streets of Parkin Street and Larson Lane be reduced to speeds of 30 kilometers per hour effective Wednesday, June 11th, 2025 to Friday, August 1st, 2025 in light of public safety concerns. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved by Councillor Thorne, seconded by Councillor Dykstra. Questions to the motion?
If there's no police, it doesn't matter.
If the project ends early, does it go back up to 50 as soon as the project's done? Or do we leave it at 30?
No,
till-
it needs to go to that date. So it should be specified by date. So it would stay there until that date, until August 1st. We
I
can keep
add
an eye on their schedule though, but based on what they provide to us. Sorry.
No, it's
Councillor
fine.
Thorne?
You finish. I cut you off. My biggest concern as a resident that lives in this subdivision, is not necessarily the speed, which I think this is great, but it's like the parking on the street. And I'm not sure that people will stop that because it is creating a big hazard, I find. It's a huge safety issue. Is there a possibility to like put a ban on street parking, or is that too much, like during this time period as well? Or is that overstep? I don't know.
We had that conversation this morning. I would say that it's too much right now because we can enforce the parking on the street. So if they're
Okay.
doing that intentionally and it's quite clear as to who is and who is not, and conversations were had with a number of them yesterday, and our public notices will say that we will continue to enforce that. So that's something that we can and will continue to
What does
enforce.
enforcement look like?
Tickets and towing.
Okay.
Yeah, tickets and
Yeah, I think we've got to be a little bit careful on life, because it's graduation right now. I've seen grad barbecues where, you know, they're having
Yeah.
grandparents over and different things. It's just, again, it's the abuse of, and I think if we can get this, you know, from a perception perspective, get the odd outliers that are, you know, just trying to block traffic versus individuals that are just trying to enjoy life.
Well, if the driveways are empty,
yeah.
It's
yeah.
quite
Driveways are
clear.
empty.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
quite
it
clear.
is
Like
quite clear.
the
And people are
the-
posting online what they're doing.
Make an example of someone, and then you won't have to worry about it anymore.
we can't
Finish
we can't say that we're going to reduce the speed limit and install speed bumps and install speed radar signs that track data in the spirit of public safety, and then permit the intentional parking to block vehicles on the street. So that is entirely within our jurisdiction to enforce. So
Good.
to
Then
Councillor Grant's point, it's quite clear when it's being done intentionally. So it will be.
Then tell one of
addressed.
these people so they understand that we're not going to tolerate it.
And to be honest,
We've had
when a lot of-
conversations, and it'll be in the public notices.
when a lot of this, when it's a real life event for the most part, and we've got the traffic data, like after, you know, between 7 and 8 in the morning, and then when you get into from 3 to 5, but when you get outside of those periods, the traffic does subside substantially, and on the weekends as well, subside substantially as well. So it's not creating as much of a hazard. So I think if we get this in place, we'll at least hopefully show those people that they don't need to be doing that.
To me, you leave a notice on their windshield, not necessarily a ticket, but all vehicles like this will be towed in the future. So
Yeah, you
if
could be
they
causing.
get a warning. and
Yeah, they
then
could be
off they
causing
go.
somebody to get hurt. So I just want to make a note. Did everybody else, like, I noticed everybody's camera shut off at one point. Was it just mine, or?
I
Just
think it was
yours.
just yours.
Okay, because I can't see any of you guys. Maybe just the data where I'm at. Okay. Okay, so with that, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So
So
moved.
moved.
I'm pretty confident that was Councillor Thorne, followed by Councillor Bannister. I'll leave that to the clerks to say who was first and second, but they're both number one. All right, with that, all in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, contrary minded, I don't see any. Everybody have an amazing day.